Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. So we were discussing on induction motor drives. So far we have seen two topics related to induction motor. So they are operation with the unbalanced source voltage and single phasing, and prior to that we have seen analysis of induction motors. So there we have seen basic equations of the induction motor which govern the working, and after that we have seen how an induction motor operated with unbalanced source voltage works. So there we have split the unbalanced voltage into positive sequence and negative sequence components. Based on that we have seen what happens to the torque. Along with that we have also considered the single phasing, that what happens when one of the phase of the stator is open. So today we are going to learn about operation with unbalanced rotor impedances. So whenever I say impedance, it is a combination of resistance and a reactance with respect to the motor. We are not speaking about capacitance here because motor has a winding. So here we are speaking about rotor impedances. So we will consider that rotor is also a three-phase, whether it is a squirrel cage or a wound rotor. We will consider that rotor is also a three-phase. So the equivalent resistance and reactances will be split into three phases. Now unbalanced rotor impedance means the rotor resistance per phase and rotor reactance per phase, what we are considering in the equivalent circuit, those values will not be equal for all the three phases, just like the unbalanced voltages. So when these values are not equal, so we know that if the resistance or if the impedance is not equal, so unbalanced rotor impedance control, this type of method was used for starting the induction motor and later to control its speed. So this is one of the very ancient technique. By purposely making a rotor imbalance, we are reducing the current, that is the starting current, and then controlling the speed by changing the value of the impedance. But this is the ancient method, so currently this method is not in use. So that was an intentional unbalancing. Now because of the continuous use of motors, because of its wear and tear or other frictional reasons, it is possible that physical structure of the rotor may change over time. So in such cases what happens is the rotor bars which is connected to the rotor rings, if you imagine the construction of a squirrel cage or a slipping rotor, so if there is a loose contact in the rotor circuit, okay, so we are telling about loose contact, not open circuit. So if there is a loose contact, then it will alter the physical area, that is the area of cross section, effective area of cross section of a conductor. Now we know that resistance is proportional to the length of the conductor and inversely proportional to the area of cross section. So now if there is a loose contact, the area of cross section reduces. So if area of cross section reduces, the resistance will increase, and if the resistance increases, the current through that particular phase will reduce. Okay, so if the rotor current is reducing, it will create an imbalance rotor current. Okay, that is what we call it as a I2 dash with respect to our equivalent circuit. So this unbalanced rotor impedance will lead to unbalanced rotor current. So if you have seen the phasor diagram or the equivalent circuit of an induction motor, that what we call it as a per phase equivalent circuit, there this rotor current is denoted by a term I2 dash. Now this I2 dash will not be same for all the three phases if there is a unbalance. So now we have seen what happens to the induction motor when we supply it with the unbalanced voltage, or if the supply voltage is unbalanced, what happens to its performance. Now we will expect that unbalanced to 6. So like our previous method only, we will resolve them into positive and negative sequence components. So positive, this will seem like a torque that would have been produced by a balanced rotor. Okay, now imagine a rotor which is having all the resistances in a balanced way. Same thing, this positive sequence rotor current will also produce. Negative sequence rotor currents, now I will not say directly that these negative sequence rotor currents produce a negative sequence torque. I will not say that. Why? Because this topic is slightly any current. We are not worried about positive sequence because it will produce a field in the same direction. What you are worried is a negative sequence rotor currents now. So how is this negative sequence rotor currents created? Because of rotor imbalance. Rotor imbalance will create imbalance in rotor currents. Okay, rotor impedance imbalance will create imbalance in rotor currents, and this imbalanced rotor current will produce a rotating field. So the speed of this field with respect to the rotor, okay, so now this field is produced in the air gap, but with respect to the rotor speed, the speed of this newly induced field will be minus s into omega ms. So we are understanding the relative speed here, and in space, that is in the air gap, the speed of this new field in the air gap will be omega ms into 1 minus 2s. So this omega ms term is nothing but the synchronous speed, and this is same as omega ms into 1 minus s, which is used to calculate the speed of the rotor. Okay, but here the term 2s is because of this negative sequence. Okay, so in the air gap, this negative sequence rotor current will induce a field whose speed is omega ms into 1 minus 2s. Okay, so next, so now whenever there is a magnetic field and whenever there is a conductor placed in a magnetic field, it will induce a current. So this newly created field will induce a current in the stator conductors, because station not moves. A change in magnetic field current in a conductor will induce a EMF in a conductor. So this field, and since the stator conductor is in a closed path, this field will induce a current in stator. So now what is a torque? Torque is nothing but an interaction between a magnetic field and current. If a conductor is placed in a magnetic field, okay, and if that is a current carrying conductor, then that conductor will experience a force, and if it is moving in a rotation motion, we call it as a torque. So now we have a newly induced field, that is a field which is created by negative sequence current. It is inducing a current in the stator. So this new stator current and new rotor field, okay, along with this all other ordinary normal stator current and normal rotating magnetic field that is present. So this is another field which is present, will also create a torque. So this interaction between these stator currents, okay, these stator current means the induced negative sequence rotor currents, okay, produces a torque. So now whenever this torque is produced, it will also produce a torque in the rotor. So now for a slip between 0 and 0.5, the speed of negative sequence rotor field is positive. So from where did we get this statement? So if we take any value between 0 and 0.5 and substitute in this particular equation, we observe that this term is positive. If this term is positive, it will lead to a positive speed. Okay, so what is this speed? This is created by negative sequence rotor field. Okay, negative sequence rotor current producing a rotating field. We call it as a negative sequence rotor field now. Even though it is a negative sequence rotor field, if the speed value, if the slip value is between 0 and 0.5, this speed will be positive. If the speed is positive, that is the directional convection produces a torque on stator. So okay, if this value is positive, it produces a positive torque on the stator side, and since this term is negative here, it produces a negative torque on the rotor side. So now what is the net torque? Net torque is difference between these two torques. Okay, so the difference between these two torques will give us the net torque. Now similarly, if the slip value is between 0.5 and 1, these two torques will add up, because in both the cases we get a negative only and we get a negative torques. So here for slip value less than 0.5, I can say we get a positive torque, and for slip value greater than 0.5 we get a negative torque. So let us see the torque slip characteristic or speed torque characteristics. So here speed is taken on the y-axis like our usual characteristics. It is slip will increase. For slip 0 to 0.5, we see that the negative sequence torque is negative and positive sequence torque is positive. Thus the net torque is like this. And for the slip greater than 0.5, we see that both negative sequence and positive sequence torques are positive and the torque add up. The torque adds up. So the dark line which is shown here, it is the net torque created because of rotor imbalance. So if there was no imbalance, then positive sequence torque will only torque which is present, but because of the rotor imbalance, now at different values of slip we are getting a different kinds of torque. Okay, so now at slip is equal to 0.5, we see that there is a dip in the torque. Okay, we see that there is a dip in the torque. The torque was supposed to be like this, but when slip is 0.5, the torque suddenly drops. Now if the imbalance is very strong, okay, extreme case of imbalance, that is this rotor imbalance, we initially told that it is because of loose contacts in the rotor bars, but now we are taking an extreme case where single facing occurs in the rotor, that is one set of conductors belonging to one phase in the rotor is not having or the rotor rings. So torque at slip is equal to 0.5 is dipping, there is a larger dip, and greater the imbalance, larger will be the dip. So when single facing occurs in rotor, this torque will be 0. Now what is the meaning of 0 torque? Usually for slip is equal to 0.5, the induction motor should give us a maximum torque. Here the motor will stop. Instead of giving us a maximum torque, the motor will stop. This is because of single facing in the rotor. Now at the same time, if single facing also occurs in the stator, so this single facing of stator voltages we have discussed in the previous video, if that single facing in the stator side and single facing in the rotor side occurs at the same time, the voltages appearing across these spaces may reach a considerably high values, and this will lead to the deformation of rotor, and thus it will create problem to the rotor circuits. So this is about operation with unbalanced rotor impedances. So that's all we have got today. So subscribe to our channel and also to our sister channel to get continuous updates on electrical engineering subjects. Thank you.